Chapter 609. What's going on? Ah, Sir Yudhar, you're here. Well, two of the people working here suddenly had some issues related to second gender manifestation. Upon spotting Yudhar, Rubel scratched his head with a troubled expression and spoke. Not long ago, Onil started showing symptoms of fever, which appears to have been a sign of a second gender manifestation. Today, he finally manifested and collapsed. Just so happened that Marson, who is the only one here to have already undergone a second gender manifestation, was near him at the time. We don't know if Marson was influenced by it, but he suddenly lost control and we had to halt the construction to restrain him. Was there an accident? Rubel shook his head as Yudhar quickly inquired. No equipment was damaged and no one was hurt. Both of them are currently unconscious. We have isolated them and are trying to figure out what to do next. If Marson is just temporarily out of control, that's one thing, but if he's gone berserk, we may need the help of the cavalry. At least that's something, Yudhar silently exhaled. He glanced at the murmuring prisoners nearby. Each one wore a bracelet marking them as criminals. They had all been captured by the cavalry. These were the people who had once obstructed the cavalry, killing ordinary non-awakeners and destroying buildings. Yet now, the fire had left their eyes. In the presence of Marty, who had awakened because of their actions, none dared to even raise their heads. It was as if they were looking at someone else entirely. So Rubel and Marty were supervising them, as I had heard. Yudhar had originally planned to just greet Rubel and Marty and move on, but with the current unexpected situation, investigating and resolving the issue was now a priority. He took a careful look at their faces before stepping forward. Let me ask one thing first. Was Marson an alpha or an omega? Let me think. I don't quite remember. ... Was it alpha? No. Was it omega? What was it? As Rubel, who hasn't manifested a second gender himself, furrowed his brow in an attempt to remember, the prisoners behind him made similar expressions. It was a sharp-eyed woman at the back who had been silent until now that spoke up. I know, he was an alpha. Ershi, you should know what the cavalry will do to you if you speak informally like that. You who already... The other awakeners around her whispered urgently, but Ershi simply glared darkly at Yudhar and offered no other response. The prisoners were afraid Yudhar might say something to her, but he remained silent. All that came to his mind were some brief memories and information about Ershi. Ershi, an awakener who had once run amok, killing people recklessly while fueled by immense hatred towards certain nobles, including Baron Wilhelm. She had been captured rather than killed thanks to Ever's intervention. But she had lost most of her powers in the aftermath of her rampage. Even in her devastated state, she had yelled and cursed at Kishir when he came to find her. Now, the Ershi in front of him was incomparably calmer and more composed than before. It seems like she is in her right mind, and the effects of her rampage have mostly worn off. Yudhar scrutinized her condition before speaking. Are you certain? Yes. In that case, it means Onil is in the middle of an omega manifestation. ... Rubel, where is Marson now? As Yudhar turned his head to ask, Rubel blinked and cautiously countered. Shouldn't we check on Onil first? Administering sedatives and isolating the individual for about a week should resolve the issue quickly. However, the awakener with second gender, who was standing right next to the omega, could pose more of a risk than the omega itself. Being close to an awakener with a second gender who had just undergone their initial manifestation was an extremely dangerous situation for an awakener with an opposing second gender. The strong scent that emanated from them could induce a heat period that wasn't initially in the cards, and there was no telling what they might do once they lost their reason. He knew very well how potent that reaction could be from his experience in his previous life. In this life, Kishir had managed to control himself, but not everyone could do that. Therefore, immediate confirmation was essential. Understood. Follow me. Udir promptly followed Rubel and Marty. Soon, the other prisoners started trailing behind them as well. Nobody hesitated, even though staying outside might offer a brief moment of freedom or perhaps an opportunity to escape. We have arrived. This way, and you'll soon. Sir Udir? Rubel, who had been kindly guiding the group into the prison, suddenly halted and turned to look at Udir. What's wrong? Instead of responding, Udir lightly massaged his forehead with a somewhat furrowed face. As I suspected, I won't proceed further. What? It means Marson's agitation isn't a precursor to going berserk. However, it seems that his heat period is coming soon. It's going to be potent, so don't let any Omega Awakeners enter the building. How could you know that without even seeing? Marty gave Rubel a strong jab in the ribs as he mumbled. Udir is an Awakener with a second gender too. Yes, of course. I'd forgotten that you're an Awakener with a second gender, Udir. The rumor that Udir and Kishir had deliberately spread originated in this western region. Udir was currently the most famous Omega Awakener in the entire empire. But despite knowing that, Rubel forgot it all as he looked at Udir's pale, icy face. He clenched his aching side and secretly swallowed his tears. Is it normal for Marson to suddenly enter heat? I have never seen this happen between Awakeners with a second gender before. It may not happen to everyone, but it's not a definite possibility. But that didn't make it any less dangerous. Nothing was as perilous as a heat period suddenly being triggered. Udir felt the invisible scent of another person prickling at his skin and nostrils and stood back a bit. Even the slightest touch had caused a tingling sensation. It was because the scent of the Alpha Awakener was making the Omega Awakener within him wildly react, trying to reel him in like a claw. It's been a long time since I have felt someone else's scent so strongly. Compared to the scent of Kishir that had once filled the space around him, it was weaker, but the sensation was enough for Udir to surmise that Marson was not in a good state. And when everyone else went downstairs to check, the guess was confirmed. Marson's body is like a furnace. He can't breathe properly, and he's not responding to his name. What do we do? When other guys went through heat, they weren't this agitated. Why? As I thought, the Alphas are more critical than the Omegas. We need to calm him down quickly. Udir turned toward the bewildered crowd. Why are you all standing still? We have no time to waste. Immediately separate the Omega Awakeners to another building. Also, both of them need to be given sedatives and sleep aids, so get those as well. But another building? We are prisoners. Where are you sending us? One of the awakened prisoners, who have been wearing a forlorn expression, cautiously asked. Others around him nodded in agreement. So, where are these medications supposed to come from? The man, who was trailing off, silenced himself as soon as he heard Udir's heavy sigh. Udir turned to all of them and made his point clear once more. The cavalry building next door wasn't constructed just for fun. You have been treated and have worked there so far, haven't you? What do you think that was for? Yes, but... Rubel. Ignoring the unsettling prisoners, Udir called out to Rubel. Yes, take the Omega Awakener to the cavalry building. You can get there quickly using your abilities, can't you? Yes, I understand. Also, please bring my belongings that are there. Your belongings, Udir? Alright. Rubel, capable of flying lightweight with the power of wind, nodded. Without another word, he turned and sprinted toward where Onel, identified as an Omega, was located. As he left, Ershi, who had been silent, finally spoke. Peter, Jim, you both follow. Huh? You think Rubel will move Onel by himself? Idiots, don't you have hands and feet? Use your abilities, get the medications. Got it. Startled and surprised, the two men hastened to where Rubel had gone. Udir and Ershi's eyes met for a fleeting moment, but neither said anything. Follow me, the rest of you. We have to keep an eye on Marson's condition until the medications arrive. Urshi turned and made her way to where Marson was, with the remaining prisoners reluctantly following her. Yudhir and Marty were left alone on the upper floor. If it's an alpha's heat period, are you alright, Yudhir? You are an Omega Awakener. It's alright to be this close. He couldn't entirely leave the area, unsure of how Marson's condition could change. It was best to remain at a distance where the influence could be minimal. In the tense silence, Yudhir looked at the control device around Marty's neck. It was the first time he had seen it properly fastened. You're making good use of the control device, I see. Yes, when I wear it, I can hardly muster any power. I have been meaning to thank you. Marty touched the collar around her neck, adding that she liked its inconspicuous, ordinary accessory-like appearance. She cautiously opened her mouth to speak again. You really seem to be an extraordinary person, Yudhir. Sensing the implication behind her words, he averted his gaze, to which Marty simply smiled. You always make everyone realize what is most important right now. I haven't done anything so grand. It was the truth. He'd merely told people to do what they should be doing. What was so extraordinary about that? But Marty just continued to smile. At first, people here were reluctant to work. They yelled, "Why should we help with this construction?" and would rebel and slack off. But eventually, they started to calm down. ... We are not far from the heart of Tenu. In the course of our work, we inevitably encounter the families, friends, and neighbors of many who have been injured or killed here. And did you know, since the last incident, there has been a significant surge in awakeners in Tenu? Quite a few have emerged even from among the bereaved and those who suffered severe injuries. A considerable number of those who had faced life-threatening situations in Tenu had newly awakened. It was a circumstance similar to that of Marty. Nahan's associates stepped outside to repair what they had destroyed and continued to observe those individuals. Since there was a cavalry branch right next to the prison where they were staying, they couldn't avoid hearing such news regularly. It was unclear what they thought as they observed these individuals. What mattered was that those once enthralled by evil had increasingly found themselves lost in thought and becoming quieter. Truthfully, I never thought they would change as I observed them, but lately I have begun to understand the thinking of the cavalry commander who put them to work. The one who had assigned this task to the prisoners was Kishir. He had told Urshi that after she had paid her debt to society for a year, he would return to see if she still held the same views. At that time, Urshi had acted as though she would never change, just like Marty had said. ... Yudhir lowered his head and smiled briefly. Sir Yudhir, did you just... I have bought it. Just then, Robel and the others rushed in, cutting short the conversation between Yudhir and Marty. We have got sedatives and tranquilizers, all kinds. Onel is being taken care of over there, and more cavalry members will be arriving soon. Take them downstairs immediately. I have also bought your luggage, Sir Yudhir. Here it is. Robel handed Yudhir a bag and quickly descended. The floor below became noisy. If only the Marson guy would fall asleep quietly, I wonder. Yudhir waited with a piercing gaze. It wasn't long before Robel returned, his face sweaty and strained. The outcome was obvious. The medicine didn't work. Yes, we gave him all the medicine we bought, but there's been no effect. Marty's expression darkened as well. However, Yudhir calmly opened the bag he had been carrying. As he took something out, Robel looked puzzled. What is that? It's a stabilizer specifically designed for awakeners with a second gender, produced for testing by the cavalry headquarters. It should be more effective for those experiencing manifestation and heat period than what he took before. Such a precious thing, Robel gulped, eyeing the small container filled with only a few pills. Did you bring that for yourself, Yudhir? It doesn't matter. The urgent matters should be dealt with first. Take it. If one doesn't work, give him all. But Yudhir's eyes narrowed slightly, signaling he wouldn't repeat himself. Robel swallowed and accepted the container. As the time passed and Robel descended again, Yuzir stood still, focusing on a faint scent in the air. Meanwhile, a few more members of the Western Cavalry branch arrived. Surprisingly, among them was a familiar face. "Commander, you promised to stay by my side until I woke up, and yet you lied." The man with his face concealed by a robe approached with a smile. "That's because I heard the reason. Something urgent came up." Kishir had cast a fleeting glance down the stairs and quickly pulled Yudhar by the shoulder. "The air isn't good here." As he murmured, his scent flowed strongly, pushing away the other odors that filled the space. The awkward scent that seemed to be scratching at the air disappeared, and a familiar scent enveloped him. Without realizing it, a deep breath escaped him. "We were almost done. You didn't need to come all this way." "How could I not, especially at a time like this, for such a matter?" Marty, who was beside them, widened her eyes as if recognizing Kishir. However, she said nothing and discreetly stepped aside, pretending not to notice. Time continued to pass in the tense atmosphere. Suddenly, the scent that has been rampant from the floor below began to weaken. The once restless scent gradually faded until it was barely perceptible on the upper floor. It was then that Robel, drenched in sweat, and the others came up. Arshi was not among them. "Robel, where's Arshi?" She said she needed to check on Marson's condition herself to be sure. She will be up in a bit. Responding to Marty's question, Robel reported to Yudhar. "Marson has completely calmed down and just fell asleep again. We have used all the medicine you gave us though." "I told you that's okay." "Yes, still. Anyway, it's all over now." Yudhar nodded, indicating that he too felt Marson's scent had calmed. The cavalry members wiped their sweat and patted each other's shoulders. Yudhar instructed them to periodically administer sedatives and tranquilizers to ensure Marson's condition didn't worsen. After finishing everything, they stepped outside to see the setting sun. They had spent more time in the prison than they had thought. As Yudhar turned his head, he locked eyes with Nathan Zuckerman, who was outside the prison gate with loaded horses. It seemed Kishir hadn't just come here on a whim. So he came prepared to leave right away. "I'm going to go now. See you next time." "Wait, are you leaving already?" Catching onto Yudhar's intention to depart, Robel expressed his surprise. "You're leaving so soon." "Thank you so much for your help this time." Marty quickly bowed in gratitude and Robel followed the gesture. As they were about to leave, Yudhar felt someone's gaze on him. Turning, he saw Urshi not far away staring at him. With arms crossed, Urshi silently watched him and then spoke. "Just as Jim said, it seemed as if a black tail had been attached to your back since you first appeared. ... Consider Marson's death repaid with this." With those words, Urshi turned away. "What does that mean? I have no clue. Black tail attached to someone's back?"